Приветствую вас, дорогая церковь, словами «Мир вам». Как красиво запел хор «Because of love, God gave us Jesus». Пусть Бог их благословит, нас благословит в это ближайшее время. Я сегодня буду размышлять, говорить на английском языке, но в конце я приведу итог на русском языке для всех других. According to the Bible and experiences, life is not easy. Life is difficult. Whether you're a 5-year-old going to school, it's a difficult battle to wake up to school on time. Maybe a teenager facing different thoughts, different doubts. Or maybe a mother, a father. Everyone has their struggles. Everyone has their battles. But we have one main battle, and that battle is against a powerful enemy. And to engage in this battle, to engage and be prepared properly, we need to have a spiritual makeover. We need to have a change and be replaced, to have our inner bodies, to have ourselves replaced with suitable armor and suitable weaponry. In the book of Ephesians, we see that Paul concludes his letter to the church in Ephesus with a final command, with a final charge to be prepared to engage with the battle of life the right way, dressed in the armor of God. Throughout my next few messages, I plan to share with you more about the armor of God. The same armor of God that was instructed to the church in Ephesus that instructs us to prepare for battle in today's age. In this passage, I'll be going over Ephesians 6. And in that chapter, we are introduced to 7 key components what make up the armor of God. The first one is the belt of truth, then breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of gospel of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and lastly, the sword of the Spirit. Today, I would like to talk about the belt of truth. What does the Bible say about it, and how can we use it and apply it in our lives to become more equipped and become a true warrior of God? I would like us to turn to the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. That's where we will be primarily reading. Chapter 6, verse 14. Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness. We're only going to be focusing on the first half of the verse, and it's interesting because as I was preparing this message, I was looking at the English version as well as the Russian version. And the Russian version, it says the following for this verse. «Итак, станьте, припоясав чресла ваши истины и облегшись в броне праведности». And as I was going over, what does the Russian version mean? And I got this translation, loins girt with truth. Now, girding your loins, it's an action. And it's a mark of preparation. And this typically applies to soldiers who were very serious about fighting. And what they would do is they would secure their tunic with their belt. In the 1st century, 2nd century, and even before that, men of that time were known to wear tunics or long dresses. And many of the times, soldiers sometimes would be taken by surprise when met with the enemy and the attack of the enemy. And I'm not saying this from personal experience, but tunics or dresses are very uncomfortable to move around with or battle. And it's very hard to be mobile. But how can you defend against the attack of an enemy when you're not ready to fight, you're not ready to run? So what happened? What these soldiers would do, they would take their dresses, put them above their knees, wrap all this material, drop it behind them, tie it around, and secure it in their belt. What does this leave them with? It leaves their legs bare, mobile, and they're ready to pursue the enemy, and they're ready to fight back. And this belt that girded securely together for the soldier, it demonstrates one thing. It demonstrates the believer's readiness for war in truth, the belt of truth. And the believer's belt of truth, it's knowledge, it's istina, as we say it in Russian. And the content of God's truths is very important and very essential for a believer as he goes on to battle the devil. Without knowledge or biblical teaching, he is subject, as the Bible says, tossed and fro by the waves and carried about every wind of doctrine, by human cunning, by craftiness and deceitful schemes. Truth can also refer to your attitude for truthfulness. It represents the accuracy of specific truths but the quality of truthfulness. The Christian is to gird himself in an attitude of total truthfulness. To be girded with truth, therefore, shows an attitude of readiness and genuine commitment towards God. How much more important is a Christian's preparedness as he faces the forces of Satan? It is sad that many Christians nowadays, they're okay and they're content with letting their tunics just hang, and they flap when the breeze comes side to side. And what this allows to happen, it allows interference with your faithfulness towards God. And the devil, he seizes every opportunity, and while your tunic is laid out, he has an opportunity to entangle you, to defeat you, just by our immature habits and interests. We believers are called to gird our loins daily. I believe being girded is primarily to do with self-discipline of commitment towards God. It's a daily battle that we receive. We receive a daily battle. Therefore, we are to gird our loins every single day, daily. Just as the committed soldier gets ready for war, just as the committed athlete gets prepared for war, therefore we should as well. Winning in war, winning in sports is often said to be a result that from a desire that leads to careful preparation and maximum effort. It is the desire to win that leads to preparation, and that's what I'm calling us to do today, to prepare for the battle. If athletes dedicate themselves and discipline themselves in order to possibly just win a trophy and receive a medal of some sort, whether it be the Olympics or any games, how much more should believers pursue and discipline themselves to absolutely win in their struggle against the devil daily to receive an imperishable trophy from God himself? May this be a reminder to all of us to gird up our loins, get prepared for the battle, and use the belt of truth. Смотря на нашу жизнь, много битв есть, разные битвы есть. И одна главная битва – это с нашим врагом. И чтобы правильно участвовать в этой битве, нужно правильно одеваться. Нужно иметь духовное преображение, в котором наша одежда заменяется с бронем и заменяется оружием. Поэтому, как я читал, апостол Павел завершает свое послание к Ефесянам с такими словами: «Будьте готовыми к битве», не с такими словами, это «Будьте готовыми к битве и жизни правильным образом». Сегодня мы говорили о поясе истины и о том, что говорит Писание, и как мы можем применить его в нашей жизни. Я читал стих заранее, и стих такой из Ефесянам 6 глава, 14 стих. «Итак, станьте, припоясав чресла вашей истины и облегшись в броне праведности». Припоясить чресла – это действие, это знак готовности. И как солдат серьезно относится к бою, так он будет подкреплять свой туник ремнем, его одежду. И пояс, который надежно скрепляет все это для солдата, демонстрирует готовность верующего к войне. Это истина. Христианин должен настроить себя на полную праведность Богу, быть припоясанным. И таким образом истина показывает отношение к готовности и подлинной приверженности Господу. У нас должна расти любовь, знание и понимание Господу. И когда они растут, растет и наша приверженность Господу и совершенство во всем. Конечной целью которой является слава и хвала Божья. Пусть это всем будет, может, урок, может, напоминание, что мы должны каждый день припоясить наше чресло, что мы были готовы к любой битве, которая нам попадет в тот день. Может, у некоторых мало битв, может, у некоторых много битв, но самое главное, что мы были готовы, что мы имели ремень истины. Так что пусть Бог вас всех благословит. С этим я хотел вас призвать к молитве, и мы будем молиться. Аминь.